Did you know that bison once played such a crucial role that entire civilizations depended on them for survival? Or that these seemingly peaceful giants can outrun a horse? Get ready to uncover mind-blowing facts you'd never expect about this iconic animal. From genetic mysteries to ancient cultural traditions, each fact will change the way you see the bison. Stay with us until the end to find out how they nearly vanished from the planet and how they're making an inspiring comeback. Intrigued? Let's dive into 20 fascinating facts about the bison. 1. The largest land mammal in North America. The American bison, scientifically known as bison, holds the title of the largest land mammal in North America. Mature males, called bulls, can reach heights of up to 6 feet, 1.8 meters, at the shoulders and weigh up to 2,600 pounds, 1,200 kilograms, while females, or cows, weigh between 1,000 and 1,800 pounds, 500 to 800 kilograms. Their massive size serves an important role in deterring predators such as wolves and bears. However, despite their size, bison are surprisingly agile and can climb hills, swim across rivers, and traverse rough terrain with ease. Their size also makes them well-suited to survive harsh winters on the Great Plains, where temperatures can drop well below freezing. Their thick winter coats, consisting of dense fur, insulate them from cold winds and snow. In spring, bison shed their heavy fur in patches, often rubbing against rocks or trees to speed up the molting process. The annual shedding not only helps with thermoregulation, but also plays a role in maintaining the health of their skin. 2. Two species, American and European bison. Though similar in appearance, the American bison, and the European bison, or wisent, Bison bonaesus, have subtle but important differences. The American bison has a broader, more muscular hump on its shoulders, which provides extra power for moving snow during winter. The wisent, on the other hand, has a leaner frame and longer legs, making it better adapted to forested environments in Europe. Historically, the European bison was nearly driven to extinction, with the last wild population disappearing from the Białowieża forest in Poland by the early 20th century. Fortunately, conservation efforts brought the species back through captive breeding programs, and wisents were successfully reintroduced into forests across Eastern Europe. However, they remain vulnerable due to habitat fragmentation. In contrast, the American bison faced near extinction due to hunting and habitat loss in the 1800s, but conservationists in the US and Canada intervened just in time, helping the species recover. Today, both species symbolize the success and challenges of wildlife conservation in the modern era. 3. Bison horns, tools and weapons for life. Bison horns are made of keratin, the same substance that forms human fingernails. Unlike antlers found in other large mammals, bison horns do not shed. They continue growing throughout the animal's life, giving older individuals longer, more curved horns. Both males and females have horns, though those of bulls are usually thicker and more robust. The horns serve multiple purposes. During the mating season, bulls use their horns to engage in combat with rivals, locking horns and pushing against each other to establish dominance. These contests can last for several minutes and sometimes result in injury. Outside the breeding season, both males and females use their horns defensively to fend off predators such as wolves. Additionally, bison will occasionally use their horns to dig in the ground, loosening soil to uncover edible roots or create dust baths to relieve itching and repel insects. 4. Despite their size, bison are fast and agile. Many people assume that bison are slow due to their large size, but these animals can run at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour, 56 kilometers per hour. This impressive speed allows them to escape predators, such as wolves, that rely on coordinated pack hunting to bring down prey. Bison can also change direction quickly, even when moving at high speeds, making it difficult for predators to predict their movements. In addition to running, bison are strong swimmers. They can cross wide rivers and lakes with ease, using their powerful legs to propel them through the water. This ability to swim allows them to access new grazing areas and escape from predators if necessary. Their agility, combined with their size and strength, makes them formidable animals in the wild. 5. Complex social structure and group dynamics. Bison exhibit a sophisticated social structure, which revolves around matrilineal groups, that is, groups led by older, experienced females. These groups typically consist of females and their offspring, while adult males tend to form smaller bachelor groups or live solitarily. The only time males join the larger herds is during the breeding season. The bison's social behavior helps protect the group from predators. When threatened, individuals in the herd will circle around the young and vulnerable members, presenting a wall of horns to any potential attacker. This protective behavior demonstrates the importance of cooperation within the herd. Even outside of predation events, social bonds play a role in the group's overall well-being, with individuals frequently engaging in grooming and playful interactions. 6. The rut, bison mating season. The bison breeding season, known as the rut, occurs during the summer months, typically from July to September. During this time, males compete intensely for access to receptive females. Bulls engage in head-to-head combat, using their horns to push and shove each other until one of them yields. These battles can be fierce, sometimes resulting in broken horns or injuries. In addition to physical contests, bulls display dominance by bellowing loudly, a sound that can carry over long distances. They also engage in scent marking, urinating on the ground or wallowing in mud to leave their scent behind. Females choose mates based on the bull's strength and persistence, ensuring that only the fittest individuals pass on their genes. 7. Sacred role in indigenous cultures. For many indigenous peoples of North America, such as the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Comanche, the bison was far more than a source of food. It was a sacred symbol of life, abundance, and balance with nature. Indigenous tribes relied on every part of the animal. The meat provided nourishment, while the hides were used to make clothing, shelter, and blankets. Bones were crafted into tools, and sinew was used as thread. Beyond its practical uses, the bison held deep spiritual significance. Some tribes conducted ceremonies to honor the animal spirit, believing that killing a bison without respect would disrupt the natural balance. When European settlers decimated bison populations, it not only threatened indigenous livelihoods, but also undermined their cultural identity. 8. Near extinction and recovery efforts. By the late 1800s, the American bison population, once numbering over 30 million, had been reduced to fewer than 1,000 individuals due to overhunting and habitat loss. The U.S. government encouraged the mass slaughter of bison as a way to weaken indigenous tribes who depended on the animals for survival. Entire herds were wiped out by hunters, who often killed the animals just for their hides or tongues, leaving the rest of the carcass to rot. Conservation efforts began in the early 20th century, spearheaded by individuals like Theodore Roosevelt, who recognized the importance of saving the species. Today, thanks to the efforts of national parks, wildlife reserves, and private ranches, the bison population has rebounded to around 500,000. However, most of these animals live on private ranches, where they are raised for meat and hides. Only a small percentage of the population remains truly wild. 9. Wallows, natural dust baths for bison. Bison create shallow depressions in the ground, known as wallows, by rolling on the ground and kicking up dust. These wallows serve multiple purposes. First, they help relieve itching and remove parasites such as ticks and flies from their thick fur. Secondly, the dust provides protection against biting insects, forming a natural barrier over the skin. Wallows also play an essential role in mating displays. During the breeding season, bulls will wallow in mud mixed with their urine, covering their bodies with the scent to attract females. In addition, these behaviors can help establish dominance as bulls compete for access to mates by displaying their strength through wallowing. Wallows also impact the landscape. Over time, the depressions left behind by generations of bison collect rainwater, creating small ponds or wetland areas that provide habitats for insects, amphibians, and birds. Thus, bison wallows contribute to the biodiversity of grassland ecosystems, showing how even seemingly simple behaviors have far-reaching ecological effects. 10. Bison can survive harsh winters. Bison are highly adapted to withstand extreme winter conditions on the North American plains. During harsh weather, their thick winter coats grow dense enough to trap warm air close to the skin, insulating them against sub-zero temperatures. Snow can accumulate on a bison's back without melting, indicating the effectiveness of their insulation. When grazing becomes difficult due to snow cover, bison use their powerful heads and muscular necks to sweep aside snow, revealing the vegetation hidden underneath. This snowplowing behavior ensures that they can access food even during the winter months when other animals struggle. Additionally, bison rely on stored body fat to sustain themselves through periods of food scarcity. Herds will also huddle together to conserve warmth, showing how cooperative behaviors enhance survival during winter. 11. Bison shape the grassland ecosystem. Bison are considered a keystone species, meaning their presence and behavior have a significant impact on the environment. Through grazing, they help maintain the balance of prairie ecosystems by preventing certain grasses and shrubs from becoming overgrown. This creates open spaces that allow more plant species to grow, promoting biodiversity. Their grazing patterns also stimulate new plant growth. As bison feed, they move frequently, avoiding overgrazing any one area. Their hooves churn up the soil, breaking the ground and making it easier for seeds to take root. Additionally, bison droppings enrich the soil with essential nutrients, supporting the growth of new vegetation. This ecological contribution helps maintain healthy grasslands and provides food for other herbivores like pronghorns and elk. 12. The bison's complex digestive system. Like other ruminants such as cows, bison possess a four-chambered stomach that allows them to efficiently digest tough plant material. They graze on grasses, sedges, and other vegetation, which is first chewed and swallowed into the rumen, where it undergoes microbial fermentation. This process breaks down cellulose, a complex carbohydrate found in plants, releasing nutrients the bison can absorb. After initial fermentation, the partially digested food is regurgitated as cud, which the animal chews again to further break it down. Once swallowed again, the food passes through the remaining chambers of the stomach, where more digestion occurs. This complex digestive system allows bison to extract maximum nutrition from low-quality forage, ensuring they can thrive even in areas where food resources are limited. 13. Bison have excellent vision and hearing. Despite their large size, bison are highly alert animals with keen senses of vision and hearing. Their eyes are positioned on the sides of their heads, giving them a wide field of view, an essential adaptation for detecting predators in open grasslands. While their depth perception is not as strong as that of some predators, their ability to detect movement from a distance compensates for this. Bison also have highly sensitive ears, capable of picking up the sounds of approaching danger. In herds, individuals often rely on each other's vigilance. If one animal senses a threat, it will alert the others by snorting or raising its tail, triggering the herd to become more alert and ready to flee if necessary. This shared vigilance is crucial in preventing attacks by predators such as wolves or bears. 14. Symbol of the American West and conservation success. The American bison has become an enduring symbol of the American West, representing both the wild, untamed nature of the frontier and the resilience of life on the plains. However, the history of the bison also reflects the darker side of human impact on wildlife. The near extinction of the bison in the 19th century stands as a stark reminder of how unchecked hunting and exploitation can devastate ecosystems. In recent years, the bison has also become a symbol of successful conservation efforts. In 2016, the American bison was officially designated the national mammal of the United States, recognizing its importance to the country's natural and cultural heritage. Bison herds can now be found in places such as Yellowstone National Park, where they roam freely, representing a triumph of wildlife recovery. 15. Bison have few natural predators. Due to their size, strength, and defensive behaviors, adult bison have few natural predators. Wolves are their primary predators, targeting young, old, or weak individuals that lag behind the herd. Wolves hunt in packs, using teamwork to isolate a vulnerable bison before attacking. In some cases, bears may also prey on bison calves or scavenge carcasses left behind by wolves. However, healthy adult bison are difficult for predators to take down. Their size and horns make them formidable opponents, and bison often fight back aggressively. When threatened, a herd will form a protective circle around the calves, with the adults facing outward to confront potential threats. This defensive strategy minimizes losses and highlights the cooperative nature of bison herds. 16. Yellowstone is home to the last wild herds. Yellowstone National Park is one of the few places where truly wild, free-ranging bison still roam. Unlike many other bison populations, which are managed on private ranches, the Yellowstone herd has maintained its genetic integrity. These animals are direct descendants of the original plains bison that once roamed freely across North America. The Yellowstone herd is a critical part of the park's ecosystem. Each year, tourists flock to the park to witness these majestic animals in their natural habitat. However, managing the herd presents challenges. During harsh winters, bison often migrate outside the park in search of food, leading to conflicts with cattle ranchers who fear the spread of brucellosis, a disease that can affect livestock. 17. Bison behavior changes with the seasons. Bison behavior varies significantly between seasons. In summer, herds are more active and mobile, grazing extensively as they build up fat reserves for winter. During the rut, bulls engage in competitive displays, and the herds become more dynamic as males join groups of females. In winter, the behavior changes dramatically. Bison become more sedentary, conserving energy and moving slowly through deep snow. The herd may break into smaller groups to reduce competition for limited resources. Despite the challenges, bison endure harsh conditions that would drive many other species to migrate or hibernate. 18. Bison play a role in indigenous cultures and spirituality. Bison hold deep cultural and spiritual significance for many indigenous peoples of North America. Tribes such as the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Blackfeet have long considered the bison to be a sacred animal, central to their way of life. Beyond providing food, bison were also used for clothing, shelter, tools, and ceremonial objects. Almost every part of the animal was utilized. Hides became teepees and robes, bones were turned into tools, and sinews served as thread. Spiritually, the bison symbolizes abundance, strength, and resilience. Many indigenous stories portray the animal as a gift from the Creator, teaching lessons about living harmoniously with nature. Traditional ceremonies, such as the buffalo dance, honor the bison's role in sustaining life and ensuring future hunts. The near extinction of the bison in the 19th century was more than an ecological disaster. It was also a profound cultural loss for indigenous communities, disrupting their traditions and ways of life. Recent conservation efforts to reintroduce bison to tribal lands reflect not just ecological recovery, but cultural revitalization, as many tribes work to reconnect with this essential part of their heritage. 19. Bison and brucellosis, a controversial issue. A major challenge in bison conservation is the management of brucellosis, a bacterial disease that can infect both wildlife and livestock. Brucellosis causes complications such as abortions in pregnant females, posing a threat to cattle ranchers who fear transmission from wild bison. Yellowstone bison are carriers of the disease, which has led to conflicts when they migrate outside the park boundaries during winter. To prevent outbreaks, wildlife managers have employed controversial strategies, such as culling bison that leave protected areas or restricting their movement. However, conservationists and indigenous communities argue that such measures are unjust, as there is no conclusive evidence that bison have transmitted brucellosis to cattle in the wild. Efforts to find common ground include vaccination programs and proposals to establish more areas where bison can roam freely without conflict with livestock interests. This issue reflects the ongoing tension between wildlife conservation and agricultural interests, highlighting the complexity of managing large wild herbivores in modern landscapes. 20. The return of the wood bison in Canada. While the plains bison is the more famous subspecies, wood bison, a larger and darker variant, have their own story of survival and recovery. Wood bison, native to Canada and parts of Alaska, were once believed to be extinct. However, in 1957, a small herd was discovered in a remote region of Alberta, sparking efforts to bring the subspecies back from the brink of extinction. Wood bison are larger and more massive than their plains counterparts, with bulls reaching weights of up to 1,200 kilograms, 2,650 pounds. They inhabit boreal forests and wetlands, where their grazing behaviors help maintain these unique ecosystems. Conservation programs have successfully reintroduced wood bison into parts of their historical range, including regions of Alberta, Yukon, and Alaska. Despite these successes, challenges remain. Wood bison are still listed as threatened due to habitat fragmentation, disease risks, and competition with livestock. However, partnerships between conservation organizations, government agencies, and indigenous communities have shown that recovery is possible, providing hope for the future of this majestic animal.